Hello, my name is Arnav and welcome back to another video. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to host your discord.py bot on any VPS service. Yes, I said any VPS service because the method I will be showing you will apply for all VPS services as long as you have the login credentials, including the username, IP address, as well as the password. So before we get into this video, make sure to subscribe to my channel if you like my content. It helps me out a lot and I really appreciate it. So before I do, let's get into the video. So the first thing you need to do is download the following software. You need a software called PuTTY, which is an SSH client that allows you to interact with your VPS. And then you need FileZilla, which is another software, and FileZilla allows you to basically transfer files between your system and the VPS. So I'll be leaving the links for both of these softwares in the description below, and you can download them and install them. So for today's video, I'll be using this simple discord.py bot as an example. As you can see, it has an onReady event and a test command, and then it has a .env file which contains the bot's token. So the first thing you need to do is open up PuTTY. So this is PuTTY, and if you have never used PuTTY before, don't worry, I'll show you how to use it. So the first thing you need to do is just put your login credentials for your VPS. So I have a VPS that I'm using and my username is root. So I'm going to use root as my username and then use @ and now I will type the IP address of my VPS. So you just put whatever username you're using. If you're using Amazon, if you're using AWS EC2 Ubuntu, the username should be Ubuntu instead of root. But if you're using DigitalOcean, the username will be root as default. So now root @ and then paste the IP address, and the port would be the same for every VPS service. And now click open. And now this will ask for the VPS password. So let me increase the size. I guess I can increase the size. Okay, so let me go to PuTTY and use this. So if you want to increase the font size, you can go to Window, Appearance, and then change the font size. I want it to be 14 pixels. I'm gonna click OK, and then I'm gonna open up the SSH client. So now, once it opens up, it should ask you for the password. And I have my password over here, so I will just right-click over here, and this will paste in the password. And it will not show the password since Linux has a habit of hiding passwords for security. So you just right-click and paste your password or type it out, and then hit enter. And now it should log into your VPS. So I'm using Contabo as since I like this VPS service a lot. So once you're logged into your VPS, you need to install all of the dependencies for your bot. Now Ubuntu has Python 3 installed by default. To check it out, just type Python 3 and this should show this. Now to exit, just press Ctrl Z and this should exit out Python 3. Now Ubuntu doesn't have pip, which is the Python package manager or library manager, installed by default. So to install that, type sudo apt install python 3 pip. Now I'm logged in as root, so it didn't require me to use sudo, but in some VPS services you might need to use sudo if you don't have access as a root user. So hit enter and this should install pip for you. Now just hit enter and now it will start installing pip for you. So once you've installed pip, we can now transfer our bot's code to our VPS. So to do that, you have to open up FileZilla, and it might be a bit intriguing for you, but don't worry, I'm going to show you how to use it. So for the host, just paste your VPS's IP address, and then for the username, just use the same VPS username that you used before. So I used root, and for the password, just paste in the password and change the port to 22, which is the default SFTP port, and now click Quick Connect. Now this should show you a list of all of the files in the default home folder, and if you're a root user, it should show you the folder /root. Now what we can do is we have our code here. Let me just minimize this. Oh, sorry. So we have our bots code here, and what we can do is just drag our bots code into this folder and let it go. And now this will start transferring our bots file to the VPS. So once it says transfer is finished, or it just shows file transfer successful, then that means we have successfully transferred the bots code to the VPS. Once you've done that, you can just type ls, and it should show the bot codes folder. So now we can change our directory to that folder. We can type cd and then the name of the folder. So I'm going to type this, my, and then press tab. So because Linux has autocomplete, now we'll hit enter, and now we're in the bot code. So if we type ls again, it shows the stuff that we have. Now it doesn't show the .env file. Now it did transfer, but it isn't showing because the file starts with a dot. So Linux doesn't show any file that starts with a dot by default. But if you want to show it, just type ls -lart, and this should show the .env file. That means all of our files have been transferred successfully. Now let's install all the dependencies for our bot. Now my bot only requires a few dependencies, so I'm just going to do pip3 install disco.py and python.env and hit enter. Now if you have any other dependencies, you can list them here as well, and then your VPS will start installing these dependencies. So once you have installed all of those dependencies, let's try running our bot. So let's do python3 bot.py, and it says bot is ready. So let me open up Discord really quickly, and I have my bot over here. Now this was like the bot from my last stream. This is the same bot, and now let's type the command. So the command prefix is test, and the command is test, so let's type test.test, and this should show the same text over here. That means the bot is working. Now a lot of you might be asking, so how do you keep running this 24/7? Well, let me tell you something. What do you think will happen if I close this putty SSH session? Well, right now if I do this, it shows that the bot is working. But if I close this, and now if I run the command, it doesn't respond, because the bot was only running on that specific session, on that specific SSH session. But since we have closed that SSH session, it isn't showing. So let me open up putty again, and then connect to the SSH. Now click open. Now let me show you how you can keep running this 24/7, and you can also close your putty session or whatever you want. So let me just cd to that folder. Okay. Okay, so I'm in this folder, and for keeping your bot live 24/7, you could use Docker, but this is a beginner's tutorial, so I won't be using Docker, but I'll be using something far more simple, and it's called PM2. Now note that PM2 is a node.js package, but it works with literally anything. So let's install node.js. So do sudo apt install node.js. And now let's install node.js. Press Y and hit enter. And now it will install node.js. So once we have installed node.js, let's install npm, which is the package manager for Node. So sudo apt install npm. So once you've installed npm, you can now install pm2. So to install pm2, type sudo npm install -g since it's global, and now do pm2, and this will now start installing pm2. Now that pm2 has been installed, we can run our bot like 24/7 in the background with the following command. So type pm2 start, and now the name of our Python script. Now this is the start script, the script that will run your bot. So for me it is bot.py, and now we put a name for our bot. So --name equals to, let me give it a name, my bot. Let's remove the quotations, my bot. And then --interpreter. This is where you specify what interpreter would be used to run the bot. So for me it's Python 3. Now we can hit enter, and this would start running the bot. And now it shows that the bot is running. So we could go here and then type test.test, and it shows that the bot is working. So this is basically how you run it. Now if you want to check your bot log, for example, like maybe your bot has an error and you want to check the logs. So for this you could type pm2 logs and then the name of your task which is running. So for me it's my bot. Now hit enter, and now it will show you the logs. So for me it's just showing bot is ready because that's literally the only thing that I'm printing out. And if there are errors, it would show an error over here, like the traceback. And now to exit it from the logs, just press Ctrl+C. Now if you want to stop your bot, just type pm2 stop and the name of your task, which is, for me, it's my bot. And now I have stopped this. Now I'm gonna type test.test. It's not going to do anything. So if I want to run it, I can type the run command again. And now it's creating a task and running the bot. Now let's run test.test, and it's showing bot is working. So now if we close the PuTTY session, if I close this session and I run test.test again, it's still showing that the bot is running. So this is basically how you host a Discord bot on an Ubuntu VPS in a really easy way. Now if you are making like a really big bot that needs to be scalable, I do recommend you use something like Docker, since everything is containerized and Docker is highly scalable. But since this was a beginner's tutorial, many people might not use Docker, and Docker also like creates a lot of complications if you don't know how to use it. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, be sure to subscribe to my channel and like this video, and I'll see you guys later.